Hey guys, it's Shady. I know it hasn't been 24 hours or a few days, but I'm already back with another build update. And the reason why this video is releasing so soon is because the amount of upgrades we made today and how quickly we're ramping. As you can see, 18 hours ago or about a day ago, I released a video about 30 bill. I am currently, I have Preserver on, but with my DPS pet or the final one, I am currently at about I want to say 200 bill at least. I think just slightly more than that. As you can see, we're ramping up to 200 pretty quick. I think I do peak about 230. So we've made quite a decent amount of changes today. And if you're wondering how expensive or how much did it cost me, it roughly cost me about, I think I spent 6,000 FE in upgrades today, 6 to 7,000 FE in upgrades today. So yeah, 240 billion DPS from the 30 bill. So quite a lot of progress, right? One thing I do want to mention real quick is, yes, I'm fully aware that my ES is pretty low, but these boots make it bearable. I cannot stress this enough. This is why I prioritize these boots. They are definitely not a DPS increase from King's Boon or the Lone Walkers, but in terms of survivability, they are absolutely amazing, and they make mapping just, like I said, bearable and good. Obviously, we'll work on getting more ES as we progress the build, but that's just a quick disclaimer about the boots and that I'm aware about my ES. Okay, cool. Let's talk about first things first, weapons. Nothing has changed besides adding sequences. It currently costs 30 FE per attempt to try to land a sequence. I managed to land a minus all resist, and then I settled with a 24% affliction effect. I just wanted something on there. If I were to look for a ideal one, it would probably be the double minus all res, or Reap CDR is also a pretty good one as well, or additional dot. Those are also really good. So yeah, again, nothing has changed about the weapons. The ring. I bought another un-ID'd ring today on stream, and it actually hit the +4. The only downside is instead of minus 11 on my previous ring, I got minus 19. So we're, 8% slower. It is what it is, but I did end up getting a +4 channel stack. So there's that. These gloves are honestly something I didn't quite understand last season, but this season I think I got a better grip. It's pretty basic to understand, I think, in my opinion now that I really look at them. But before we get into that, these gloves are currently giving me +1 agility blessing, and then obviously I bought a corrupted T0 mod for the elemental resist. Nice pair of elemental resist gloves. Unfortunately low ES, but biggest thing is obviously the blessing. And then here it states that you get 8 to 10% additional damage if the max stacks of focus blessing is not lower than your other stacks. So when you have these gloves, from my understanding, you don't want, well, if you care about the additional damage, you don't want to have any other blessing higher than your focus blessing. So in this case, as you can see in the top left corner, I have 4 focus blessings while I have 2 agility blessings and 3, making it so that these gloves are actually giving me 10% additional damage. At least that's from what I understand. Now, the sources of where I'm getting these blessings from is obviously one from the gloves, right? The agility blessing. And I'm getting a tenacity blessing here. And then I also have one from my new pedigree that I will talk about here in a sec. So I'm getting a +1 agility blessing here. Now, I got this pedigree for about 1,200 or 1,300 on stream. I think it's a pretty good deal. It comes with full load. Full load's insane. It's one of the best talents, in my opinion, for our build. We just get 40 additional damage as long as our mana reaches the max. And with enough points in Lich, the -12 skill cost, this should make it so all your skills, technically, I think, are they cost 0 mana. And as long as we're not using Mana Boil, because Mana Boil actually drains your mana, if you use Mana Boil, you're not considered to be max because it's always draining and then it's going back up, draining, going back up. But it's as you can see, I have replaced it with Shackles, which I'll talk about here in a sec. I replaced it with Shackles so that I'm no longer using Mana Boil. So I'm getting the full benefit of full load here. So that's the new pedigree as well. I did pick up a fallen star. Like, dude, my slates are completely horrible. I'm fully aware of it. I'm gonna work on them next, I promise. But just here, I grabbed a +1 tenacity blessing, so that way I can get the full benefit from the gloves. The only other thing is I corrupted my own Hekate's vision, and I managed to hit the two additional curses. It doesn't state that you can cast an additional curse, but it's technically that mod. As you can see on the dummy here, you'll see both curse and entangle pain on the dummy. So this means that I'm having I'm applying 2 curses on the dummy. So speaking about curses, obviously that's a nice upgrade, right? Being able to apply a second curse, but what makes it absolutely worth it is having Shackles and Malice with the special support. The biggest thing last season, or the biggest confusion for a lot of people last season, was people were building Shackles and Malice and not buying the support. I understand that the support's pretty expensive, but for good reason, right? So a lot of people last season were, I looked through so many builds and they had Shackles and Malice, and at the moment that I saw that they had DEFILE, I knew that DEFILE was essentially not doing them any good anyway. Like, it literally does no damage on its own the way we have it set up here, right? We're basically just using it for a reaping source, applying paralyze, and then obviously a ton of curse effect that we're getting from DEFILE. So it's very important that if you're going to swap to Shackles and Malice or set it up, please make sure that you have the support. Now, in terms of tiers, I got a T1 only because it was only about 200 FE. At the time of this recording, it was about 200 FE more expensive than a T2. The T0s are absolutely blown out of the water expensive right now. I don't recommend it. It's something that you can upgrade later on, but to just dip your toes into some Shackles and Malice tech here, settle with T2 or T1. I personally would recommend settling with the cheapest one you can, unless a T1 is not that much more expensive. So that's the reason why I got this. Another thing is I did manage to pick up 2 precise auras. The precise aura amplification at the time was 500 FE, and I just didn't find it worth it. I will get it eventually, but that's not right now. I forgot about getting a precise corrosion focus, so that's on my part. And then a concentrate. I bought a T1. You can settle with T2 if you want. It all depends on your budget, but of course, I made about 8,000. Sorry, I made about 8,000 FE yesterday through Cube. So if you guys are wondering where all my money came from, yesterday's stream, if you guys watched the VODs, like, I was popping off with Cube yesterday. So I had enough money to just settle on a T1 for now, so I just bought a T1. It was about 3,000, or it was 2,900, I think. So between this support and the DEFILE support, this one was about 1,900 or 2,000. No, sorry. This one was about 2,000, I think 200 when I got mine. So between this support and the concentrate support, we're looking at about just 5,000 alone. Now, I know the helmet, it's about, actually, it's actually more expensive now. When I hit my curse, they were going for 400, but now apparently they're about just under 700. I would highly recommend you try to curse it yourself. The helmet by itself is like 15 FE. Just spam a bunch of corruptions on it, and in hopes of you hitting the legendary 2 curses here. I don't think it's worth it if you're unless you have money like that, or you want to save some time, or you don't feel lucky. I highly recommend you just slap some corruptions together and hopefully you get it. Like I said, they're about 15 FE uncorrupted, right? There's only one mod we care about, and it's this one. Luckily, I hit it on my very first corruption. Like, it's on stream. You can check the VODs. I literally just hit it. It was crazy. In terms of anything else, nothing has changed. Besides, like I said, +4 ring, new gloves, and a new tier on the curse. I did buy a better hero memory. I think I mentioned that in the last video that I was going to upgrade. I bought a new orange tier memory with reaping cooldown, so that I can hit the next breakpoint which I have at 211% here. It was quite a nice DPS boost anyway. I needed to upgrade from the purple. It was looking horrendous. Last but not least, I picked up a new inverse image. Shout out to all the boys in the Discord. We came to a conclusion that if you had less than minus 50 or 49% the legendary talent here, you actually get the benefit from the +1 max channel. So it actually rounds down. Or up, sorry. So I managed to pick this up for 1,000, I think it was like 800. I don't remember. It was like it was under 2K, that's for sure. So because of that, I now get a +1 max channel. Do I recommend it? Only if you can afford it, but technically you are paying that much for a max channel. Now, the only reason why this was worth it to me was because the old inverse that I had, which was a -94 all legendary, which I didn't even get to benefit from the max channel from, it did have 92% talent effect on the medium. I managed to buy that yesterday at 500. I was able to sell it back earlier for 1,400. So all in all, I paid an additional 500 FE, or 4 to 500 FE essentially, for a +1 max channel. Was it worth it to me? Yes, because I was able to sell my previous inverse image. If you don't have this type of like FE right now, I highly suggest you just settle with a decent percent on the medium talents. Don't worry about the legendaries yet. That's just a luxury. But a lot of your power does come from boosting the percent intelligence mod here and the 18% damage mod here. So again, only if you have the budget to, you can opt into what I did, which is a decent amount on the medium percentage and being able to actually get another +1 on your talent tree. If not, you should be able to get a decent percentage here for a few hundred FE. I can check that right now, actually. Here, filter, and for medium, let's just say a 40%. You will be able to find some for about, here's one for 400. So because we see that so far on the first page, we see 400 is the cheapest. I'm gonna go ahead and put 400. And let's see if we can find anything cheaper than 400. There's a 320 with 50%. That's actually a really good one. 47 for 300. There's a 42 for 275. So as you can see, for just a few hundred FE, you can definitely get some really good percentages on those medium talents, and it's going to boost your damage by quite a lot. Was that 180? There was somebody put up for 188, but that just sold. The best one I seen was what, the 300 for, here's a 42% for less than 200 FE. Like, as long as you guys know what you're looking for and you set up the price filter, you guys can definitely get some snipes here. And there's a ton on the market. We'll just see a few more. 44 for 222, a 180 for 45. You get the point. But yeah, so if you can't afford having a 49% or a negative 49% or less on the legendary, just go for a decent medium talent effect, the positive percentage, that is. There are a few hundred FE. You put it, if you put it right here, it's going to copy all these talents here in that box and put it down here. The most important would be the percent intelligence and the not attack damage, the generic damage. That is it. I still have the same prism. If you were to ask me what's my ideal prism mods here, I would definitely say movement speed and aura effect. Though it might cost you a bit to try to roll. I hit this on the very first time I crafted, so I just kept it as is. I will revisit those later. I don't think there's anything else that I done differently today. We did talk about the sequence. We talked about the going from +3 to +4, new gloves, corrupted mod on the helmet. The only thing I would say is I dropped Arcane Circle for the Shackles and Malice, and I dropped Mana Boil for Entangled Pain. That way we're utilizing 2 curses and the Shackles and Malice tech. Yeah, I believe that is it. only quick touch, full load is one of the best talents. Like I said earlier in the video. If you do drop mana boil, I highly suggest you get yourself a full load. The way full load works is, like I said, you get 40% additional. Somebody has it up for 15 FE. Wow. You get 40% additional damage to your next main skill or whatever it is when your mana reaches max. Like I said, we should always be at max because our skills are technically not costing anything right now due to that minus 12 skill cost in the Lich tree. But make sure that you don't use mana boil, because when you use mana boil, it drains your mana, and even though you regen it really quick and back up, it's not considered to be max mana. So I don't think you're gonna get that benefit. It might be like what's that word I'm looking for, like inconsistent, right? I would be kind of afraid of inconsistent DPS if you run mana boil. Even then, if you copy my setup, we don't even need mana boil anyway. So yeah, that's about it. Those are all the upgrades I made today for about, like I said, anywhere between 5,000 to 7,000 FE today. I'm gonna try to think of some questions you guys might have, which is like, if you had that type of money or building that money, what would you upgrade first? I honestly say, try to get 2 curses. And actually, no, sorry. If you are in my previous video and you've caught up to whatever the 30 bill was, and if you're wondering what's the next upgrade, I would honestly suggest that Concentrate is a really good DPS boost for sure. The more max channel stacks you have, the more damage this thing actually gives you. So I would either say you can go with MC Concentrate support, and then try to get yourself a double curse setup is what I would probably have you do. In terms of pedigree, when I was looking this up, there was another one for 1,500. It's still there. So if you're seeing this and you want what I have, there's currently one up for 1,500. Now, if it gets sold out and you want to ask yourself if it's worth 4,000, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not. Don't buy this for 4K. You can easily just have full load and look up a different talent that it can go with. You guys can refer to my Google Doc, as I have all the major talents listed, and you can try to pair something or find something cheap together. That's about it, guys. Thank you for watching. I know it's a really early build release, not build release, but a quick update from yesterday's 30 bill. I just figured that it's best if I upload a video now and share it with you guys before I reach like 500 billion, and all of a sudden everybody's like freaking out, like what did I do differently, or all this stuff. I just want to make it very transparent of what I've done so far and where it's gotten me. Yeah, I've gotten a lot of feedback. Again, thank you so much, guys, for watching. I really do appreciate if you guys could just give this video a thumbs up, or just comment, whatever it is. I greatly appreciate it. I read all comments every day whenever there is, and I try to get back to everybody. Again, I would appreciate it if you guys could stop by the stream and just let me know how the video was. And yeah, it's a true motivation, and I just want to give you guys a quick shout out for that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next update. Cheers.